Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Ultra Hardware 44610 Old Time Mortise Lock. This is what the lock body looks like. This is a privacy function. Skeleton key operated is what Ultra calls this, but it doesn't include a skeleton key. Okay. That's the lock body. I'll show you how to reverse it in a moment. They are completely reversible. This is your inside trim plate. This is the exterior trim plate. Okay. This lock is intended to replace those almost 100-year-old mortise locks that are in a lot of apartment buildings. I see these very commonly on the northwest side of Chicago in a lot of the multi-unit buildings built in the very earliest part of the 20th century. Completely reversible strike, can be mounted left hand or right hand. You'll get a screw pack here with screws that you'll need. You're going to need, looks like a total of 12 screws. 2 for the body, 2 for the strike, 4 for this escutcheon plate, and 4 for this one. So total of 8 here. And then finally, you're going to get 2 knobs, polished brass knobs. Okay, get a little closer look at one of them. It's like a Plymouth style knob. It's got the set screw in the base for the spindle, the threaded spindle that you'll get. You'll thread that once it goes through the lock. You'll thread the other side and then tighten the set screws down. So I'll show you how to reverse the lock first, which is quite simple. And there is a link below this video to the instructions that also show it as well. I'm going to tip the camera down so I can show you the lock on my desk. Basically, there's one screw. You can see it here. Hold the cover down with your hand. Put pressure on the cover as you're removing this screw. Oh. Parts inside are going to want to jump. And because I'm holding this spring-loaded portion down, the latch bolt is spring-loaded, and it wanted its assembly to move. So you've got to be careful of that. Don't let anything jump on you. This part, this hub, for the spindle is going to pop out if I take my finger off of it. So I'm not going to do that. The only thing that you need to do to reverse this, basically, is to remove this latch bolt assembly by, and I'll do it on the desk, if that's okay. We'll push it in, and it will then just simply come out. And be very careful because there's a spring in there. Then turn it over. That's all you're going to do. You can insert it back in the hole and then simply compress the spring and put it back in. You know, you can push it through, get it to pop out. Careful for the spring, don't lose it. Spring. Take your latch bolt, flip it over, stick it back in the hole through the inside. Take your spring, compress it, and just get it stuck back in there. Quite frankly, it's that simple, and it always is. These kinds of pieces of hardware are always very easy to work. You'll want to probably take a mental picture of this lock case, or even an actual picture, before you go moving anything. You don't want to lose any of the parts. Otherwise the lock will not. There's no way to keep it going without all the parts. Put the screw back on. You can see I'm holding that part down still. If I don't, it's going to jump. I'm going to use this index finger to get the cover back down while I'm still holding it. And at this point, have a little bit of misalignment with the hub for the for the thumb turn, and the cover will not snap back on, and that's pretty normal. First thing I always try is to just get it to rotate, to get it to operate, and sometimes that'll seat the part that's misbehaving, and that's not going to work in this case. I can tell that it didn't move. So gonna have to remove the case again, the cover I should say, get that spun, and try to figure out what it is that's keeping it. I kind of reworked it there, repositioned it. And sure enough, once I did that, you heard that little click and it all fell back into place. And at that point, I'm going to continue pressure on this cover. I don't want anything to pop out until I get the screw put back in. Once the screw is in, you're good to go. Don't over tighten the screw. It will certainly interfere with the operation of the lock. I've got it upside down naturally. So your deadbolt works. You can put your spindle in, and if you want, you can, grab. I can do it by hand a bit. You put suppose a plier on there carefully, and just make sure that it works. But I can tell that it does just by doing it by hand. And that is how the Ultra 44610 is reversed. Installation is very straightforward. You've got the lock body. That's going to go into the edge of the door first. You'll screw it down. Once you've got that on, okay, your escutcheon plates are going to have to go on, front and back. Attach those to the door, but do so loosely. You don't want to, not so tight just yet, because you're going to want to get the spindle threaded onto the knob. And be careful for that set screw. You'll want to loosen it a little bit because it's projecting into the threaded female portion. This will go through the escutcheon like this. Okay, so it's going to look like that. And the entire assembly, because this is already mounted to the door, of course, it's going to go like that. Then you're in real good shape. Then you basically repeat it on the other side, and then it's done. It's just that simple. These locks are very easy to put together, one step at a time. If you have any questions on the Ultra Hardware 44610 Old Time Mortise Lock, which is a privacy function, really is what it is, or any other Ultra product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.